What's going on, everybody? This is Kurt's Kitchen, and today we're going to be making a little bit of a different interpretation of a beef Wellington. Now, beef Wellington is, it's an expensive dish, because beef tenderloins are extremely expensive. I think the last time I priced one, it was over $95. And that's not what this is about. So today we're doing a pork Wellington. Not only that, we're going to do a apple stuffed pork Wellington. Now, a lot of people, when they talk about puff pastry, they think it's going to be a little hard. It's not. It's not at all. Just as long as you know how to not break the dough, you'll be fine. So, let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start off with your pan on medium heat, okay? You're going to want to drizzle just a little oil right into the center, okay? And you don't want to wait until this starts to shimmer a little bit. Now, you want to take out your pork right here, okay? You want to make sure you got it all nice and patted dry, okay? And then, once this heats up, which, thanks to induction cooking, is not very long, alright? You're going to want to take this, you're going to want to put it right into here, alright? You got to make sure you hear that searing noise, because we're looking to sear this on all four sides, alright? So, just give it a little shake to make sure nothing's, going to stick. Now, before I forget, just get a little crack of pepper right on there. And of course, throw it onto your counter. That works too. Okay? A little crack of pepper. Then we got to put some salt in here. Salt.
Once we find it.
I know, right? Salt's the only thing to disappear in this house. Don't know why. It's right next to it. Right.
Of course it is.
Alright, so get a little salt going on here. Honestly, I forgot to do this in the very beginning. You want to make sure that you sprinkle this on all the sides. But this works too. Alright? So, you're not looking to cook this all the way through on here. You're just looking for a nice brown. So we're starting to get there. Well, we're not quite there to my liking yet. Alright, give this a little wrap around, make sure nothing's sticking. Now the key, if you're cooking on something that's not Teflon, is that you want to start off at a high heat. So when you're not starting off on a high heat, then it gets a chance for the meat to get into all the little microscopic cracks and fissures that are on every single pan. Alright, so make sure we get a nice brown little crust on there. Alright, we're starting to get there. That was good. Alright, you want to kind of flip it, because anybody that knows anything about cooking will tell you that brown equals flavor. Okay? So, just going to let this go real quick. Make sure nothing's sticking. Alright? If it starts to smoke a little bit, that's fine. Not really a big deal. Alright, while this is cooking, you want to grab your wine. It could be any dry white wine. But for this, we got a real cheap Sauvignon Blanc. Really cheap, really inexpensive. I think this thing cost us like $5. So, when you're cooking with wine, don't go for the expensive stuff, because you're not going to be able to enjoy all the flavors, the variations that it has when you're cooking it. Alright? So, how's this looking right here? That's looking pretty nice. Just kind of stir this up a little bit. Alright, now we're going to put it onto this one side right here. Alright, getting a nice little brown right there. Not bad. Not bad. But this is just for flavor. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now this is going to be a great meal when you are, especially with the upcoming holiday for all you men out there. If y'all want to cook your lady something a little bit more extravagant. Okay? So, and since we got a prepared one, we don't have to worry about taking off all the silver skin, or something that's actually called reticulum. All right, so reticulum is something that's in a lot of different meats that is actually not digestible. They actually used to make tennis rackets out of reticulum, but they were made from little Fidos reticulum, unfortunately. So, all right, getting pretty well there, getting nice and good. Don't worry if it starts to do this number to it. That's fine. Alrighty, we're gonna take this off the heat right here. Actually, give me 1 second. We're gonna gotta do this side right here. Get a nice little sear. Alright, and we're gonna flip it around and we're gonna do the other side. So all sides have a chance to at least get some of that brown crust. Okay? And we're gonna take it off. And we're gonna put it to a plate that is just gonna rest until it's completely cool. Alright, so keeping your heat exactly where it is, you wanna throw in your wine. Okay? Now, if you were doing this with anything other than wine, you're doing this with some alcohol, you're going to want to turn off the heat while you're doing it. We're not looking to flambe here. So, alright, you're going to want to scrape off all those little bits that you have going on there, because that equals flavor. Alright, you want to crank this up to high, and you're going to want to reduce this to about 1 to 2 tablespoons. So this should take only a couple minutes to do. Alright, put that off to the side. Then we're going to put this off to the side. Okay? So, while this is going here, let me talk a little bit about puff pastry right here. Alright? David, if you could be so kind as to grab the frozen puff pastry out of the freezer, please. Alright, so I'm going to show you a before and after. Okay? So you have... Just give me a box. Alright, so puff pastry just comes in this. You know, it doesn't really have to be, you know, fresh puff pastry, because that takes forever to make. It literally takes, you know, a pound of butter, a pound of flour, plus some ice water, and then it takes about 2.5 hours of your time. Okay? So, just get it in this. Alright, when you first get it in this, it's going to be folded up like this. Okay? It's going to be completely frozen. Alright? The only way to make sure that this does not break or crack is to let it sit and thaw out completely on its own accord. Okay? So, once you have it all nice and thawed out, these, okay?
Yep.
It's going to be folded up like this. Okay? You're going to want to slowly fold it over like this. Alright? If there's any sort of, like this thing, like thinking it's gonna break or something like that, stop what you're doing, walk away for a couple minutes. Okay? And we got this down to a nice little, kind of like syrup almost. So we're going to put this off to the side. Okay? So, that's off to the side. Alright, we're gonna let this warm up over medium heat. Alright, so back to our puff pastry. Alright, so when you get your puff pastry, you're going to want it to look completely defrosted. Completely. Alright? So, going to make sure it's completely defrosted and you get some of the flour off. Okay? So you're going to take your 2 fingers like this. Okay? And you're going to go down like this. Crimping all the way down. Just a tiny bit. Just to make sure that these 2 spots are completely together. Alright, then pat it down. Okay, same thing with this side. Okay? So, both sides completely together. Just like this. Okay? Now, we flatten it out. And then same thing with this other side. Okay? So both sides completely in there. Make sure you kind of get a good little crimp on it. Excuse me. Okay. So once we get done with that, I'm going to flatten it back out. Okay? Just get it kind of flattened. This will help you out in the final dish just because you won't have any cracks, any leaks. Okay? So keep doing it, keep pushing it together, flattening it back out. Just any place that looks like it needs it. Okay, a little bit more right here. Kind of flatten that up. All right, you're gonna flip it over. All right, you're gonna let this kind of chill out, okay? So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come to our big baking pan right here, okay? Make sure that this thing is only on medium heat. Because the next thing we're gonna put in is we're gonna put in a half stick of butter, okay? So just give it a little cut right there, right on down. Put that off to the side. And it always kind of helps to use room temperature butter. Not all the way, but something pretty close. Alright, we're going to stir this around, make sure it's not going to burn. That's the big thing, okay? Now, alright, make sure this is not going to burn. Looks like it started to a little bit. Hey, that's fine. No worries here. Not everything's perfect. Okay?
For those of you that are watching, if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions,
Please let us know.
go ahead and type those in, and we'll answer them as they come in.
All right, so get out our apples. Something nice and easy. All right, I'm actually going to turn this down until I'm ready for it. All right, you're going to take your apple. You're going to take your knife. All right, you're going to lay it down. Now this thing, it's going to roll like this. All right, you don't want to be cutting stuff like this because all of a sudden you lose a finger. Like that. That way it's a lot less inclined to roll. Okay? You go slices right down the middle. Like that. Okay? You're going to slice it. You're going to put it like this. You're going to slice it again. Okay? Right there. Okay? Now, be very careful to do this. Alright? I don't want any lawsuits. Alright? You're going to cut down at a 45-degree angle to get rid of this core. Just like that. Core and all. There may be a little bit left over right there, but trust me, it's a lot easier. And if you have the space for, an apple core, go ahead and use it. Because if not, just do it the way I'm doing it. It works out so much better. Yeah, sure, you waste a little bit, but I'm sorry, but I don't have time for unitaskers. Just like my favorite chef in the world, Elton Brown. Alright, so just like doing it again, 45-degree angle, boom, gone. Right into the trash. Or if you have little kids, you can always give it to them to kind of pick over. Okay? So this is going to need 2 apples. Okay? So we're just going to keep doing it just the way we did it before. Alright, we're going to put this off to the side. Just like before. Straight down. Boom. Alright? If you have a little bit of this going on in the inside, just cut around it. Okay? Just a little bit like that. Hey, that's fine. It happens.
Watch the sticker.
Alright? So, let me take the sticker off right quick. I'm sure everybody has on their apples. And if you have a little sticker that's giving you problems, just cut it off. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing we did before. Alright, I'm just going to do that. And we're just going to do that. And since this one looked like it was starting to go just a tiny bit bad, try to get rid of this little spot right here. Alright? Just kind of cut that out. Boom. Done. People will never know what was going on. Alright, same thing with this one. 45-degree angle, boom, gone. Just like with this one. This one looks like it's a little deeper, so I'm just going to cut it off. Boom. Just like beforehand, 45-degree angle. Make sure you have a really sharp knife for this. That way you don't have to push all that much, okay? So.
One of the worst things to have in the kitchen is a dull knife.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. You have a dull knife in there, it makes you push more. And that means
more likely to cut yourself.
You're going to cut yourself. Alright, we're just going to cut these up into little cubes. Probably a little smaller than that, actually. So just something a little bit like this. Because this is going to be stuffed inside of our pork tenderloin right there. So let's talk for a minute. Why are tenderloins expensive? Well, you have to take a look at exactly where the tenderloin actually comes from, okay? So the tenderloin, you come up here to me.
You gonna need your butcher twine?
No. Alright, so when you're taking a look at a pig, alright, just use a human as an analog. Alright, the tenderloins are right back here, right on the other side of the spine. Now that means there's only 2 tenderloins per whatever animal, alright? Because cows are bigger, so cows are going to be more expensive, alright? But they come like this big. It is huge. And usually it's a little bit cheaper if you buy them to where you have to do the butchering yourself, but albeit a lot of people don't want to do that. So, alright, so back to the apples. Alright, so let's get a little cut across like that. And make sure you use your fingers exactly like the way I taught you. Just like this. Do not cut yourself, because this will hurt if you cut yourself. Or you stab yourself. Just like I almost did right there. Okay?
Happens.
It does. Not everybody's going to be perfect. I mean, myself, I have sliced myself just a few times because I was going a little too fast. Okay? So, get a little cut, and cut. Okay? I have a sneaky suspicion we're not going to use all these, but we shall see. This recipe I got off the internet, so not everybody's perfect with the internet. Alright, so since we got the butter in there, we're going to throw the apples directly in here. I highly doubt we're going to use them all because this pork tenderloin is actually a little bit smaller than a lot of others. So we're just going to throw these in here. Okay? If you have a little bit bigger one, go ahead and use them all. But me, just going to save those what we call a chef's snack. Okay? As a hand just comes from out of nowhere and takes some. Alright, so.
Good.
Oh yeah, I mean, apples are amazing. There you go there, kid. Alright, so. Shall we put that off to the side and clean up everything around you? Okay, boom. Alright, so now we have to let these heat up and start to break down, okay? This is good. If you've never had anything like this, oh man, this is delicious. Absolutely love it. Okay? So now, oh, there we go. Make sure you kind of give it a little stir. Make sure you're coating everything in the butter. Okay? Make sure you got everything coated. Okay? And we're just going to let this cook down. And we're just going to let this cook down. Okay? Now, while this is going, now, in a separate bowl, okay? Just grab yourself out of a bowl. Boom. Okay? We're going to put in some brown mustard or some, other mustard. Alright? This is going to be used to paint this on here, so you're going to have to use your own judgment how it looks. How big is yours? It really all depends. Alright? So, put in some horseradish. If you have kids that don't like spiciness, just, you can take this out. Don't even worry about it. Okay? And because, wow, that's some strong stuff. And because nobody in here to, unless you're going to Whole Foods or something, is going to be able to find actual bay leaves or cooked or actual
sage.
Fresh sage right here. So we're going to put a little sage in here. Just a tiny little bit. Probably no more than half a teaspoon. Okay? Boom. Alright, we got that in there, right there. Alright. Now, the wine mixture we had from earlier. Make sure we get off all those little good bits. Right there. Alright, we will pour directly into there. Alright? That's going to be good stuff right there. That's all the good stuff right here. Alright, give this a little stir. Right here. Alright, so if anybody's ever seen a beef Wellington made, the whole mustard thing is pretty much exactly what you need. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit tangy. However, the apples should kind of take it down just a little bit. Alright, do this number right here. give it a little stir. You don't want too much browning when it comes to this, but then again, you don't want, you know, no browning at all. All right, we're gonna put this off to the side. Okay. All right, let's get rid of these apples right here. Let's throw them down. Okay, so we got rid of this. Now, you have your puff pastry right here. Okay? So while these are cooking right here, give it a nice little stir right here. It should only cook for maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 minutes, give or take. Nothing too much. But they should be soft, and the liquid that comes out of them should evaporate. So, but you want them to be cooked. You want them to be soft. That way when we put it inside of here, we can actually kind of finagle it, you know, just on our own. I'm going to show you a little something when it comes to doing this that actually makes it a lot easier to get everything together. So, alright, so we're good right here. Go ahead and take your apples, bro. Alright, so we're going to take this away for 1 second. Okay? Don't worry, it'll be back. Alright, so on your cutting board, you're going to want to put some plastic wrap right down right there. Okay? You're going to want to double it up now. And I know I hate plastic wrap too because it doesn't cut at exactly the right time as you want it, and then it gets stuck together. It's terrible. But it's what you need. Alright, so make sure we get this all laid out like this. Okay, we're going to take out our puff pastry and we're going to put it right onto there. Alright, so this is going to help when we try to form it. If anybody's ever seen Gordon Ramsay do it, or what Venting with Babish said, the whipsy flipsy method. Okay, so I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit too brown for me. But it is starting to cook very nicely. Very nicely. And of course, if you have any questions, please let us know. Okay. But we're going to move this. Actually, we're going to keep it right into here. Okay. So hopefully everybody can see this. Like, I'm going to move that out of the way. And we're going to put this right into here. Okay. So, take a brush if you have it. If not, just take your hands. Okay? Actually, pause on that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to fill this up first, then we're going to paint it. Alright? So take whatever side you think is the best. Actually, I like that side from the bottom because it's all nice and, you know, flattened. So, you're going to cut right into the middle of this. Okay? It's going to be raw still, but this is what we were looking for with the sear. We were not looking for cooking quite, okay? So try to carve out a little hole all the way through that you can fill this up with your apples. Try to keep only one hand on with the knife and stuff. That way you don't have to, you know, deal with, you know, this going into here and then, you know, you don't want to cross-contaminate. It's just not all that good. So kind of carve out a small little hole right here. Okay, this is basically butterflying, but a little bit different. And a couple of the videos that are going to be made on Patreon is going to be explaining all this. Alright? What we have on Patreon is going to be the best of the best. It's going to be like me breaking everything down, like very slowly and showing you how to cut stuff up, showing you how to figure out if stuff is ripe. All this good jazz. Okay?
It's also going to be the uncut footage from all of our previous videos.
Yes.
For those that are looking for a little bit of extra comedy.
Yeah.
For when we mess up. You get to see what everything looks like without all the movie magic.
This is true. This is true. Because we're not above messing up. Trust me. Like I was told in one of our previous videos to watch cream. Because it's going to boil over. what did I do? I turned my back. Cream went all over the place. It went all over the place. It was terrible. But, you know, it happens. Alrighty, so we're starting to get some good browning going on here, which is absolutely delicious. Now, this is a take of a beef Wellington. Now, beef Wellington actually comes from way back in the day when it came to extravagant uses of butter. That's just where it's from. Now, puff pastry, in and of itself, really has only 3 ingredients. It has flour, it has ice cold water, and it has butter. And I'm talking about a lot of butter. Sure, could you make this yourself? Yeah, but I don't have 3 hours just to waste on dough. I'm sorry. There are plenty of people that have done it. I'm not trying to do it. Okay. So these are looking pretty well cooked. Alright, they're nice and soft. They're actually starting to bounce around now, which is great. So we're going to pull them off, okay? And for me, I'm going to drain out a little bit of that butter because that's just too much butter to put inside of here. Okay, so we're going to drain out the butter just a little bit. Okay. So, alright, we're going to put this, we're going to let this cool down just for a little bit, alright? As I say, that's the great thing about what we cook on, is it because it completely cools down. In fact, that's pretty cool to the touch right there. So, except where the pan gets hit, it's going to be hot. That's all there is to it. But it's done via magnetic and all this good stuff, so. Alright, so we got this all laid out. Alright, get your brush and stuff ready to go. Okay? So we're also going to throw in a little coriander. Okay? Now coriander, now I didn't know this about coriander. This is something I found out. I didn't know that it was cilantro. I did not know it was just another name for cilantro. I did not know that.
Cilantro seeds.
Yeah. So, alright, you're just going to sprinkle just some just in the inside. Alright? Just in the inside to make sure that it permeates absolutely everything. And right now it's killing me, but I'm not going to put any garlic in this. Not going to put any garlic in this. Why?
But garlic goes in everything.
You know what? It does. But with this, I'm going to try it pure. I'm going to try it pure. Because we got a lot of flavors going on here. And if I was actually making like beef Wellington, I wouldn't put garlic in it either. I'd actually put the garlic on the sauce or whatever that I was making with it. But since we're just doing this purely, we're just going to leave it alone. Just going to leave it. Just going to leave it alone. Alright, so this is cooled down a little bit. Alright, now we're going to just sprinkle it right into here. Okay? Try not to overload it. You know, this is why I said we weren't going to use them all. Because apparently that recipe was for some Brontosaurus friggin' Wellington. That's just not me. Alright? Take these off. You're going to have your hands wrapped up in this. Okay? So try to wrap it around it. Try to get it all nice and in there. Okay? So those are going to be hot, but you know what? It doesn't make that big of a deal. Okay? So, boom. Just like this. Alright? If you have to, you know, you're going to take a look at your puff pastry. You're going to see if it's big enough or not. Something I should have done to begin with. But something y'all will know to do right now. Okay? So, get everything nice and in there. Okay? So we know that that will fit. Alright. So we're going to put this on top of the puff pastry lying down. Okay? Get in there. This is stuff you don't see on a regular cooking show. Alright? If my thing one can take that out, please. We'll lie this directly down right on there. Try to squeeze it in just a little bit. Think you know what I mean? Now we're going to move this over. Okay? So if you have to, you can use a little bit of cutting. I think we can figure this out. I think so. So, you're going to take your brush, okay? You're going to brush this all down with your mustard mixture. Brush it all down. You're not going to use all of it, but try not to get too thick of a coat on here because then you're just going to have a mouthful of fire when it comes to the horseradish, because I can already smell it. And it smells delicious, don't get me wrong, but not everybody's going to want it.
A mouthful of horseradish.
Yeah. I don't think anybody should want that. Alright. So, make sure you wipe your hands off, okay? Now, puff pastry, it's going to be a little difficult. Alright, we're going to fold it over one way. Okay? Try not to do a whole lot of stretching. All right, we're gonna fold it over the other way. Okay? There's gonna be a little bit of stretching involved, but that's fine. So don't worry about it. Okay? Try to crimp up the sides just a little bit right here. Just a little bit right here on the sides, just to create almost a watertight seal. All right, same with this side. All right, so let me show you the magic of when it comes to using plastic wrap for this, okay? Gonna flip it over, okay? Make sure you completely flip it over. Then you're gonna flip it over again. Make sure you're dragging this all along the side, okay? Make sure you don't have anything in the inside, okay? Gonna flip it over like that. And make sure everything is good to go. Flip it back over. All right, so now we have this one part right here and this part right here, okay? Now tuck that underneath. Tuck these up like this, one right here. And just turn it, just like this, okay? Just try to get this all nice and snug, all right? So turn it just like this to get this into a nice little thing right here, okay? If it looks like it's gonna slip, just put it right back in there. Boom, done. All right, so give it a little twist. All right, you can do this with foil, you can do this with whatever. Really does not matter too much, okay? So make sure everything is all nice and in there. And we're just gonna leave this alone, okay? Now, if I had a lot of time on my hands, which I know a lot of people don't, I would actually put this right here. I actually put this in the fridge to firm up. But I don't have the time, and I'm sure you don't either. So, you're gonna take a little bit of this right here, okay? You're gonna put this seam right here down. That way you don't have any leakage, okay? So we're gonna take it off, and we're just gonna roll it right out. Boom. Okay? Get any sides that decide to come out, just get it pushed back in, all right? So we got a nice little log right here. Nice little log. Okay? As I said, don't look for perfection. Perfection is only for those chefs that have 12 to 15 other chefs right below them. All right? You're not looking for that. Okay, so since we got this all nice and together right here, boom. Now, you're going to take one egg. All right, you're going to crack this egg. Of course, make sure you're doing it from all the way up here. That way, you know, you can show off. And this is the perfect chance to show you guys something. All right? That we have one eggshell right into here. All right, now the best way to take care of this eggshell would just be to take the other eggshell and scoop it out. You can do it with your finger. Go ahead and do it with your finger. All right, so now we got this one right here. Okay? So now we're going to grab just a fork. All right, give it a little. All right, give it well. Whisk this. All right. And we're actually going to throw in a little bit of water in here. Just a little bit. Maybe just a teaspoon. Just a teaspoon of water right into here. Okay? This is what's called an egg wash. Alright? Now, an egg wash is to help something brown. And that's what this is for. Alright? To help something brown. Alright? So we're going to take what we had before. Give it a little spray off. Alright? We're going to take this. Right? Get this out of the way. And we're going to paint this all over the place. We're going to paint it. All right? Just a little bit of a mixture, just a little bit of a paint. All sides. Make sure everything is painted very nicely. Why? This will crisp up beautifully right afterwards. Okay? So make sure you get it on all the sides. This is a really, really simple recipe that is delicious. But a lot of people haven't tried it because they think, oh my God, beef Wellington or pork Wellington. Oh my God, it's too much. No, it's not. You got this.
Yes.
All right, so you're going to take a knife.
You want to get this backside?
But did I miss the spot? Oh, I did. Look at that. I missed the spot. See, this is why usually when you're not doing it, you flip everything around. So give it a little. All right, there we go. All right, we're good to go. All right, now you want to take a knife. Now, if you want to do this, you can. If not, not a big deal. It's more of a chefy thing, more or less. Just to kind of give it just a little bit of a flair, like a little look. Just kind of cut right into there. All right? Just like that. Okay? So, because when this puffs up, it's going to be delicious. It's going to look amazing too. All right? So, next thing we're going to do, where's the salt at? All right. I ain't gonna show you no Salt Bay thing, freaking doing it from all the way up here doing this. No, that's just not good. All right, so we're gonna just give this a little bit of a sprinkling with salt. Okay, just a little sprinkle. Don't want it too much now because the pork in there is already salty enough. All right, so this is going into the oven. It's gonna go into the oven 400 degrees for 30 minutes. All right. It depends on how big it is, but 400 degrees is usually a good way to go. Now when it comes to pork, I'm telling you, you have to cook this to where it is it's 160 degrees. Alright? I'm telling you this right now because that's what the USDA says. Okay? You have to cook this to the right temperature. Yes, there are other people that will tell you that you don't have to. But listen to me. Would you rather be safe than sorry, or would you rather have a little moister stuff? I'd rather be safe than sorry. Plus, we have the butter that was inside of the apples. That's going to keep stuff plenty moist in the inside. Cook your pork to the correct temperature. All right? So if you have a good temperature thermometer, like a probe thermometer, you can slip it right here, right into the inside right here. If not, I check it in about 30 minutes. So you're looking for an internal temperature of 160 degrees. That way when we take it out of the oven, it's going to rise another 5 degrees. It's called carryover. Okay? 160 degrees, about 30 minutes into the oven. So we're going to put it right into the oven. Okay? And that's all there is to it. Once that's done, you're going to take it out, and you're going to, it's going to be roughly about, I'd say wait about 15 to 20 minutes if you enjoy the top part of your mouth. If not, cut right into it, but it's going to be all sorts of soupy. So I'd let it wait for about 10 to 15 minutes, okay? You can have anything you want with this. You could have it parked next to a giant heaping of mashed potatoes if you want. You can park it next to rice. It doesn't matter. Or you can just have it by itself. I mean, you got most of the food groups in there, especially butter. It's got about 328 layers of butter just in that dough alone. So it's good stuff. So, as always, here at Kirsch's Kitchen, please enjoy, and anybody can cook. Thanks, guys.